Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here, for clicking on the video. What are we doing today on this lovely, for me, Sunday afternoon? For you, who knows what days those come out. I just make the videos. I figure out the days and stuff later on. Today, we're going to listen to Stanley, Turrentine. We're going to listen to this track, Sister Sanctified. This is off of the album Cherry, released 1972. We're listening to this track because it was suggested and sponsored by Joe. So Joe, thank you so much. I really appreciate the suggestion. I appreciate the support as well. But what I really appreciate is this. No one's done this so far in the Buy Me a Coffee with the requests and such. Joe actually gave me 3 choices of songs to listen to today. He gave me 3 choices and said, just choose whichever one you want. He said, don't ask me. don't ask him. Just choose one, and that'll be the one we do. So, do you guys want to know the 3 choices? Should I say the 3 choices? Maybe I shouldn't, because then everyone's going to say, you should have chose this one, you chose this one. Maybe I shouldn't name the 3 choices. We'll just let it ride. Let's listen to Stanley Turrentine. We're going to listen to this track, Sister Sanctified. Now, when I have the Wikipedia article pulled up here, I couldn't help it. It's a short little article, so I see the personnel sitting here. Tenor saxophone, so that's what Stanley's going to be playing. Few names stick out to me. Ron Carter on the bass. And then Billy Cobham. Come on. So let's go ahead and listen to the track. We will talk about it a little bit after. Here we go. I love the bass from Carter. Oh, that's a catchy little line. Wonderful way to bring it back to this lead. And listen to the drumming, very intricate. Love those hits. This is that catchy jazz, right? That's that hard step. I like Cobham's drumming a lot on this one. A little closer to traditional, but still with the step. Vibes. Like how the piano hit those chords right behind it at that point. Chorus again. guitar picked that up. Now he's consistently hitting that ride. Carter and Cobham really make a great rhythm section there, right? Like you're listening to his bass line. I heard that fill. Let that hi-hat get some air. Get him. That's a very tasty, not drum solo, but right, all the space left to it, and then the bass kind of gave a lot of room too. It's a calm, pleasurable. That's hummable. Back to the ride at the very end. I hear you. Yeah, that's a great piece of jazz. I mean, as soon as that main melody is established, that motif, that chorus, however you want to word it, as soon as that's established, I feel like you know, or at least you feel, it's going to be a pleasurable stroll through the park, because that's what I feel listening to this piece of music. It's so pleasurable, relaxing. It really does feel like just, it's the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, take your pick, and you're just out on a stroll through the park with your family. I'm imagining pushing a stroller by this point, or not this point, but well, I don't know. But like pushing a stroller, walking with the wife and everything, like just enjoying the day. It's perfect temperature outside, sun's out, and family's out. And that's what I hear. I love how catchy that melody is too. Some of you are going to be hearing that in your head a little bit. Da, 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 da. I know my notes aren't right, but da, 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 da. And ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da. There's that exciting part in the second part before we get to the like ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da, and then it da, 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 like it hits the ride, like it takes that extra step and gives you a little bit of energy there. That's really, really wonderful. And can I say something that this track made me realize? But I'm sure I've realized it before, but because I'm paying, you know, YouTube attention, I'm paying reaction attention to the music. It's kind of different. In jazz, in a lot of jazz like this, obviously all the members get different solos and such. That's just a hallmark and a corner and a foundation of jazz music, where everyone kind of starts to trade solos and that kind of thing. But what I noticed, at least in this track, that they do very well is every time that someone's given room to perform a solo, the rest of the band, I would say specifically Cobham is who stood out to me, but changes something slightly in the rhythm and the backing music to make it kind of different. Like it's not like when Milt's on the vibraphone. It's not like when Milt Jackson played there that the backing musicians played the same exact way and the same exact thing as when Cornell Dupree on guitar is performing his solo. There was a slight difference in the backing music, so that it's always interesting. There's always some sort of progression and movement happening, and not just okay, we're going to perform the exact same thing in the backing music while the guitar does a solo. We're going to do the exact same thing behind the guitar that we do for the vibraphone, and so on and so forth. So I really like how there's, a slight change as it moves on, because it does give it something. It gives it a little extra, right? Something of interest to listen to. It's not just, okay, we're getting the exact same backing not backing vocals, but backing musicians and backing sound, I should say, from everyone there. I really, really enjoyed that. The vibraphone from Milt Jackson, like I said, that was a wonderful part. Just very sublime, kind of cooled everything off, cooled the jets down a little bit. The guitar was also really nice, like playing a bluesy jazziness to it, I would say, but also just very relaxed. Everything in this track actually was very relaxed. The only thing I would say that was maybe a little bit more intricate and a little bit more complicated in approach were the drums from Cobham. But even at the same time, you heard him doing all these different fills very quickly, changing patterns, going off to the right, hitting the hi-hat, splashing here and there. But at the same time, while he was very much an octopus in all he was doing, he was a very optimal and efficient octopus. And never did he raise himself, for lack of a better word, above the other musicians in volume and in what he was doing. I wouldn't say that he was playing like a deep pocket, but what he was doing was, to me, kind of adding flavor to what the other musicians were doing, and just kind of lifting them up. And I think that when you're performing the backing music behind someone else who's soloing, your job is not only obviously to keep time, keep rhythm, keep the melodies, blah, 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 but to lift that person, to lift that musician, because it is their moment. Same way as you will get a moment at some point probably in the track as well. Like, I love when Cobham has, I wouldn't say a drum solo, but I also wouldn't say a drum fill. It's somewhere in between. There needs to be a term for in between solo and fill, because that little lead into the final motif was really, really well done. And I like how it was stately. It was, once again, optimal. It was characterized by its beautiful simplicity, and yet executed with professionalism and obviously deep, deep pockets of talent there from Cobham. That's good. And that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say about that. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this choice. I hope that you enjoyed the music, of course. Joe, really, really, once again, appreciate the support here. It means a lot. I really, really thank you for that. And for a great suggestion, and for all the choices of suggestions. Let me know your thoughts, of course, everyone else in the comments below. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, guys. Imagine not staying for the video post-credit scene. What? There's a lot of people that clicked off, and you know that you're going to see the comments of, I wish that JP said what those other two choices were. If you stayed for the post-credit scene and you saw that the video's not over, like, hey, why is there still like some time left after you're here for a reason. Okay, so the other choices that Joe had given me, the first choice was Jethro Tull with their song Seal Diver from the album The Broadsword and the Beast, which I haven't heard anything from that album. I didn't choose that one because we've been covering Jethro Tull, so I didn't want to choose that one since the other Stanley, which we've now listened to, I hadn't heard. So I wanted to hear something different, I'm sure it's a good song. I just wanted to choose something different. And then the second choice that Joe gave me was London Suede's song Still Life from the album Dog Star Man, which we're listening slowly to Suede. And so I said, same thing. Let me listen to something different. That's not something I'm at least in some capacity familiar with the band before. So that's why we chose the track that we listened to today. But the other two choices was Jethro Tull, Seal Diver, and London Suede's song Still Life. See, sometimes it's worth staying after the credits. Sometimes you got to look for that little measure after you're like, when I say goodbye, guys, have a wonderful day, and I click sometimes you need to look at the time right after, like, is it going to be the 15 or whatever seconds it is at the credits, and that's where it ends, or is there like a little something else at the end of the timeline? You never know. You never know. But because you're here. See you guys.